Hello guys, this is Elias with Softly, and in this video we are going to export JetEngine Custom Fields directly to Dropbox using WPL export. Now guys, to get started we need a post type to export, and to this video we have this one called properties. Now we have here 103 properties, so let's select that from this pull down, and there you go. We have 103 properties here too, so that's good. Now, into this video, guys, we're not gonna export all of these 103 properties. We're just gonna export some of them because I only want to export the properties that are actually on the market here, right? So that field, it's called availability, and I have it right here, created with JetEngine. This is a select field, right? So I'm gonna use these filtering options, and I'm gonna look for my availability field, which is here. For the rule, I'm gonna say equals, and for the value, I'm gonna say on market. Right? So I'm gonna add this rule, and WPL export will filter out all of the properties that don't meet this criteria. Right? So let's just continue clicking here on this button that says customize export file, and we're gonna do that because if we click here on migrate properties, we will just export all of the data contained in this post type. And well, this is useful. It's not what I want right now because I want to be able to move around some things and maybe change a couple of, I don't know, stuff here in our export file before actually sending that to Dropbox. So let's get on with that. For just out of the box, we have here ID, title, and content. And these three elements are the three columns just by default, right? ID, title, and content. Now we have this post right here, this one church court. I have it right here ready for you guys. And as you can see, we have the same data here as we do here. Now we don't need the ID, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And we're gonna find the JetEngine fields right here in the right panel. So once you open that, you will see that you have two kinds of elements here. The first one has black letters, and it's the actual field group that contains all of the other fields, right? So if we go here, right, you will see all of the fields we have for exporting today. We have a couple of simple text fields. This is a date picker, a couple of select fields, checkbox, number, radius. This is a JetEngine repeater field, and that repeater field has three sub-elements, so that's cool. Then here in the media tab, we have a JetEngine gallery, a media field, and four more simple text fields right here. So this is what we're gonna export, and we could just go ahead and drag and drop the whole group like this, and all of the fields are gonna just be added automatically, right? So that's pretty cool. And if you preview, you will see all of the data already here. So if you just want to go ahead and export this as it is, that's pretty cool. I mean, you have all of the data here, right? But if you want to maybe move around or change some of this stuff, well, you can do that too. So for instance, if you want to change this title column, right, just change that to whatever you want. In my case, maybe I could go with something like, say, property name. Yeah, it's good. And now here for the content, I think it will be best if this is called maybe description. All right, cool. Now guys, again, you can drag and drop individual fields even multiple times like this, or you can add the whole group and just it's faster, I guess. So we're just gonna leave it like this, but I want to make some changes here because let me preview real quick. We have, for instance, this short address field, which I don't see much of a point in having this field here because we already have the full address here. So what I want to do is create maybe a short version of a description, like an intro or something like that, that you can put something so the user can read more easily. So I'm going to click on this element right here, short address, and I'm going to create a custom export field. Now this custom export field is going to be called short description, right? And I'm going to say here beautiful listing type. Yep. And I'll locate it at short address with X amount of bedrooms, then X amount of bathrooms, and X amount of square feet. Cool. Now let's save this. And this, guys, is just so you know that you can build totally weird custom fields with multiple values, multiple elements, multiple static data. You can even run PHP functions right here. So the sky's the limit here, and we have great videos and other documentation how to do all sorts of crazy stuff with the export fields. So be sure to check that out if this is something that interests you. But for now, let's just save here and preview so we can see our newly created field. And there it is. Beautiful house located at Riddlesden, West Yorkshire, with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 43,242 square feet. So that's very cool, right? Now, maybe I'm gonna drag and drop this here so it's just after the description. And for the date first listed, I don't know if you noticed before, but we have this format. It's a good format, I guess. It's just a date, but if maybe you want to change that to, I don't know, other format, because you can do that using either natural language PHP or Unix. And well, the way this works is very straightforward. I mean, if you know the PHP values for dates, just type some stuff here like D, F, J, and Y. Save. Preview again, and there you go. You have changed your date format, right? So it's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna change the order of this and put it just here first as a first element. I think that's better. And I'm just gonna call this listing date. I think that's better. So availability here, listing type, that's important. So maybe here, or yeah, let's leave it here. For the price, I think we're missing the currency. So yeah, we're missing the currency here, guys. So I believe that's important. So I'm gonna add that. And since we don't have any element called currency, we can't actually add that as an element here as a custom export field. But we could add just static data like this, right? Drag and drop the price, and there you go, right? We have added our currency. Now you could, of course, use maybe a PHP function to do that, right? It will be very simple. Just say function and let's add currency price, okay? And we're gonna return the currency symbol, and we're gonna concatenate the price element like this. Function, say function. We're gonna copy the name of our function here and enable this option that says export the value returned by a PHP function. Paste the name of our function here and save. Preview, and we have the same result here. So that's pretty cool, right? Now we're gonna leave it like that. I like it with the function. It's really kind of overkill, I guess, but let's just leave it like that. Why not? Then here for the amenities, well, remember, guys, this amenities field is a JetEngine checkbox, and by default, when you have an element that contains multiple sub-elements inside of it, WP Export will grab all of those sub-elements and combine them in a field like this, separating each and every one of them with a pipe. Now, guys, you can, of course, modify this, but I mean, when you click here on amenities, you won't see any settings to actually change the delimiter, right? But when you find something that you need to do, but you can't actually do it within WP Export's functionalities or built-in features, right? Well, chances are that you can do it with PHP. So let's do it. We have here this function, but we can run multiple, but we can have multiple functions, which is something really powerful and amazing about WP Export. So we can extend whatever functionality we want. So we're gonna say here function, and I'm gonna call this replace pipes, right? And I'm gonna return in this case str replace. Right? I'm gonna look for my pipes, and I'm gonna change those pipes with maybe a comma and a space, and that's gonna run on the that element. Right? Oops. All right. Cool. Let's save this and do as we did before. Copy the name of our function here, enable this option, paste the name of our function here, and this will make sure that our functions are only called when needed, right? Because we're gonna run this function, which is this one only, not this one, but this on this value, and this value is whatever field we have here. So let's save this and preview again. And there you go. We have changed our delimiter from a pipe to a comma and a space, right? Pretty cool, guys. Now, I think, oh no, actually the price should be here before the map address, and the inventory is 2. And this 2, actually, it's going to be probably easier if I just drag and drop the map address like this, right? Now, square feet bedrooms are very straightforward. They don't have anything going on really, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And here, rooms is a very interesting field, which is a JetEngine repeater right here, right? So in this case, the first element is entrance hallway. We don't have any measurement, and we have this description. Then for this WC, we do have some data and living room, dining room, and whatever, right? So I'm gonna go back here to WP Export and preview, so you can see how the room's JetEngine repeater is handled here, right? So since we have 3 subfields in that JetEngine repeater, we have 3 columns here: room's name, room's measurement, and room's description. And if I zoom in, you will see here entrance hallway, right, which is our first name element, and it's separating from the second one, which is WC, right here, with a pipe. So this is the, all of the data from the room's name fields inside of that JetEngine repeater. Now, next up, we have here the measurements, and as you can see, the first one doesn't exist, right? But the second one, it does. And the same for this room's description. The first one does exist, and the second one, well, it does exist too, right? So that's the same we have here, and that's how it works by default. Now, you can change that because maybe you want to, I don't know, export this, each and every one of these repeater elements in its own CSV line or whatever. So to do that, we can click on the JetEngine repeater field and enable this option that says display each repeater row in its own CSV line. Now, we have other option here, but I'm not gonna enable that just yet. Just bear with me for a second while I show you how this looks. Preview. All right, now guys, we have here our room's name, the measurement and description, and where the others are just below that, right? WC, living room, and each and every one of these guys are in its own CSV line, which is very cool. But what happens here is that all of these other fields, all of these other cells actually are just empty, right? And guys, there isn't really not a right or wrong way to export these repeater data. It's just some guys did it this way, and some other ones may want to fill in empty columns, right? So if enabled, this option will make each repeater row appear as its own CSV line with all of the post info filled in for every column, right? So let me save here and preview again to show you guys how this looks. Now we have here our room's name, measurement, and description. And if I scroll down, you will see that all of the other post info is here too, along with the same format we have, which is each and every one of these sub elements in its own CSV line. So that's pretty cool. And again, this is kind of up to you, whatever format you want to use. That's totally cool. I'm gonna roll with this one though, because I just like it that way. Then I think we have actually covered pretty much everything here, and I have my file the way I want it. So I'm gonna leave it like that. We have some advanced options in CSV, but you can also use here Excel or maybe even use XML. And if you preview here, you will see the same file with the same settings, the same PHP functions, the same everything, right? Just in XML. And we have advanced options for XML and whatnot, but we're not going to use this option, and we're not going to use the custom XML either. We're just going to roll with CSV and continue here, because the point of this video is just send this data to Dropbox. So let's just move on with that, right? So these options, I'm just gonna leave them as they are. You can hover on the question marks to know more about what they do, but they are pretty much self-explanatory. So if you read them, you will pretty much know what they do. And here we have some scheduling options, and the scheduling options are pretty cool because it will allow you to schedule your exports on whatever time intervals you want. And you have two options for that. You have the automatic scheduling, which is a paid service. So if you maybe want to run this export Monday through Friday, you can enable those days, like so, and select the times you want to run these exports on. You can select multiple times even, and it will work. And that's it, right? Pretty easy. Now, if you don't want to subscribe to that, and that's totally cool, you can use manual scheduling, and this manual scheduling is just cron jobs, right? Now, cron jobs are free. They're just a little bit more technical, so you may want to read our documentation on how to set this up in WP Export. And if you feel a little bit lost, either with cron jobs or with anything we have covered so far, contact our support team and we'll help you out. Now, I'm going to confirm and run this export, which should be fairly quick. Let's just give it a few seconds while it runs, and yep, there you go. Right, so here we can download our CSV, we can download a bundle, which is basically just a zip file with all the data from your export and some settings to be used with WP import, which is pretty cool. And we could generate a secure URL. And right here in the scheduling tab, we have these scheduling options again. And lastly, we have here the external apps, which is where we're gonna kind of connect all of this with Dropbox, which is again what we came here to do. We have a great video here, but we don't need to watch this because we're gonna do it. So let's click here on this link so we can go to Zapier's integration page with WP Export. And we're gonna find here Dropbox. All right, now I'm gonna connect these apps. And next, we're going to need an event. This is a trigger, right? So we're going to need an event, and the event is going to be new export file. So this SAP, this automation, is going to run when WP Export exports a new file, right? That's pretty much the gist of it. So I'm going to click continue. We need to connect WP Export Pro with Zapier. So let's click here on sign in. And for this, we're going to need two things. We're going to need an API key and the website's URL. But fear not, it's very simple. Let's just do it. Here is WP Export, and we just need to go to all export settings. And right here, we have the Zapier's integration API key. So I'm going to copy that, paste that API key here. And next, we need the website's URL. So let's copy that and paste that right here. Say yes to connect. And there you go. Right, so this should reload any second now. Now we're talking, all right? Now let's click continue and test our trigger. Now, once I click here, Zapier is gonna try and pull some data from WP Export. And as you can see, we have here our website's URL, the export ID, the export name, file type, the post type to be exported, and all of these other data. So all of this is looking good. So I'm going to continue with this selected record. And here for the action that's going to fire once the trigger is run, it's going to be upload files. So I'm going to select that. click continue. Now here for the account, I'm already logged into Dropbox. All right, so should be even easier. And yeah, that's good. And it just sign me in. That's pretty easy. You may need to authorize something, but it's just 2 clicks. So I'm gonna click continue, and here for the space, I'm gonna choose default. In your case, it may be different, but you know. Now here for the folder, I'm gonna choose exports, since that's the folder I have right here, and that's the folder I want to use. As you can see, it's empty. And override, that's kind of depends on what you want. I'm gonna choose false. I'll specify a file name. I'm gonna choose the export name. I think that's good. And for the file extension, I'm gonna use file type from WPL export, right? Now, I think we're ready here. We're missing something really important, which is the actual file. So I'm gonna click here, and here is our export file option, right? So we're gonna choose that, and I think we're ready. Yep. Now, guys, once I click here on test step, Zapier is gonna try and get the latest exported file from here. Manage export, and this is the export we just set up. And Zapier is going to try and grab this file and upload it here as a test. So let's test that. All right, so this green check mark means that the test was successful, and there you go, here it is. So we can open that, and let me close this, okay. And there you go, here is our file. Right, we have the date format we specified here. The column names are fine too. We have here the short description. The order of the columns is fine. Here we have the PHP function we use to add the $sign. And generally speaking, all of the other data is looking good too, right? So that's pretty cool, guys. Now I'm gonna delete this. All right. And I'm gonna publish my SAP because it's clearly working just fine, right? Cool, now our SAP is live. So I'm gonna go back here to WPL export, and I'm gonna rerun this export. Confirm and run. And we're just gonna give it a few seconds again while the export just gathers all of the data and exports the file. All right, and now we're just gonna go here and wait a few seconds for our file. All right, there it is, right? Pretty cool. Now let's open that, and as you can see, we have here our file. So that's pretty cool. And that's it, guys. That's how you export JetEngine Custom Fields to Dropbox using WPL export. Now, guys, if there is something else you want to know, like maybe you're not using JetEngine but MetaBox or ACF, or maybe you're just using an e-commerce site with WooCommerce and you want to know how to import or export all of that data to and from anywhere you can think of, you can always check out the other videos in our channel or check out our website at www.import.com. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time.